so you mentioned like building the network and then having to talk with so many people to be able to slowly build a network that is actually valuable, of people who can orient them or connect them to the right people or give them the right experience. And really one of the big thing is getting people that are key, right? Like people who really have an extreme knowledge, are very well connected, and it is really important to find people that will basically kind of introduce you in that industry,
It's to
because
get that
otherwise,
warm contact.
that's right. Otherwise, you're basically always out. And once you get introduced, then the arms are opening, people are listening to you a lot more, and then you get access to things that you would never have had access to, right? Services, platforms. I mean, it is everything relies on that in crypto, like in many industries. It is all about building that strong network that will. And again, like one thing that crypto users tend to forget, or like a behavior that they tend to have, is asking for things. But you don't get those advisors because they're nice to you, right? You really need to build a situation that is also good for them, right? And it needs to be a win-win situation. That's how you build relationship. It's really, it will be interesting for you and it will be interesting for us. So let's work together and all win in that situation.
Yeah, I think it's important to, like, if you're out networking or you're attracting advisors and you're attracting investors, it's important that you really do find people. This is also true for hiring, but really that you want advisors, investors, workers that share company values, and like one company may have a certain set of values. And I don't just mean ethics. I mean, like, the way they want to get things done, their seriousness about certain things. And there may be other companies that are like, hey, we're meme coins. Anything goes here. And so you'll get different people who are interested in certain things. And it's your job, as somebody who's starting a new project, it's your job to kind of filter that and as best you can, so that you're working with people who are very compatible and understand your values and that they match theirs. Otherwise, the relationship's going to be bad.
Or it's going to be good for them and bad for you, and vice versa. And
well,
so
I
you
think
need to make sure you have a good
bad.
relationship. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
So win-win is what you're shooting for. Win-lose, somebody lost.
Yeah.
So you never want that. Lose is obviously the worst. But,
That's right. But identifying how you can have a situation that is also beneficial for the people you want to work with is critical, right? And that's where we're talking about the phases, the founding phases earlier. That's really connected to that, right? Like you need to find, at the stage of your project, you need to find the good allies that will help you reach the next step, right? It's really critical.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to do it, I would ask old bosses. I would ask who their friends are, if they have any investment people. So you really want to get as much advice, especially if you haven't done anything like this before. You want to get as much advice as you can, and no matter who you are, you've got connections, and at least something. And your first round of connections, or level of connections, have more connections. And that's not even talking about investment. That's just getting advice. Just get advice. And you can talk to investors and just get advice. And later they might be interested. But really what you're looking for is to make connections and get advice, so you don't screw this up, and you really understand what they want with respect to exactly what you're doing. Again, advice might be different for each thing.